Deep in the shadowy waters of the Amazon lurks a creature straight out of a science fiction movie. It has no fangs, no venom, and no claws, but it can still take down predators and prey with just a jolt of electricity. The electric eel is one of the most shocking creatures on the planet, literally. And today, we're diving deep into some of the weirdest, most unknown facts about this high-voltage predator and also the shocking science of electric eels. How they control their electricity. Stick around, because fact number 8 is going to leave you stunned. Imagine being able to generate electricity inside your own body. No wires, no batteries, just raw power flowing through your cells. That's exactly what the electric eel can do. But how does it control this shocking ability? Because today, we're diving deep into the electrifying world of electric eels and also uncovering the shocking secrets of their built-in power plants. The power plant inside an electric eel. First things first, electric eels aren't actually eels. They're a type of knife fish, and nearly 80% of their body is made up of specialized electricity-generating cells called electrocytes. Think of electrocytes like tiny biological batteries, stacked one after the other. Each cell can generate a tiny electrical charge, but when they fire together, boom, they create a powerful jolt of electricity. How do they control their electricity? But here's the real magic. Electric eels don't just zap everything around them all the time. They can fine-tune their electricity for different situations. They have 3 types of electric discharges: low-voltage signals, high-voltage shocks, and rapid pulses, each with a unique purpose. First, low-voltage electricity, the underwater radar. Electric eels live in dark, muddy rivers where eyesight isn't very helpful. So, they use low-voltage pulses like a built-in radar, sending out weak electric fields to sense objects, detect prey, and communicate with other eels. This is their everyday mode, no shocking surprises here. Second, high-voltage shocks, the lightning strike. But when it's time to hunt, electric eels turn up the voltage, literally. They generate a massive electric discharge of up to 600 volts, stunning their prey instantly. This is where things get really cool. The eel's brain sends a signal that activates all its electrocytes at the exact same time. It's like flipping a switch that turns on a powerful circuit, releasing a high-voltage jolt in one go. Third, rapid pulses, the mind control trick. But electric eels have an even weirder trick: mind control. They can send out rapid electric pulses that force nearby prey to twitch, revealing their location. It's like making their prey move against their will. The pulses mess with the fish's nervous system, forcing their muscles to contract, so they can't hide from the eel. The ultimate power control. So how does an electric eel keep itself from shocking itself? Well, its vital organs are all tucked away in the front 20% of its body, far from the electric action happening in the back. Plus, its thick skin acts like an insulator, keeping the electricity from backfiring. And here's the most shocking fact of all: electric eels can actually jump out of the water to shock threats directly. If a predator gets too close, the eel will launch itself at them, delivering an even stronger jolt. It's like nature's version of a taser, only way cooler. Mode of feeding in electric eels, shocking predators of the Amazon. Imagine a predator that hunts not with teeth or claws, but with electricity. Meet the electric eel, a fascinating creature of the Amazon that stuns its prey using high-voltage shocks. But how exactly does it hunt and feed? After stunning the prey, the electric eel quickly moves in to capture it. Unlike many predatory fish, electric eels do not rely on sharp teeth to tear food apart. Instead, they use suction feeding. They open their mouths rapidly, creating a vacuum that pulls the prey inside. Since electric eels lack the ability to chew, they swallow their prey whole. And also the multi-shock feeding strategy. Studies show that electric eels sometimes use multiple shocks on larger prey to ensure they are fully immobilized before ingestion. This technique prevents struggling prey from escaping or harming the eel. In some cases, electric eels coil around their prey while delivering electric shocks, increasing the effectiveness of the attack. What's the feeding frequency and diet of electric eels? Well, electric eels are opportunistic carnivores, feeding on fish, amphibians, crustaceans, and even small mammals or birds if they get too close to the water. Juveniles primarily eat small invertebrates, while adults target larger prey. They have a slow metabolism and can survive on infrequent meals, sometimes going weeks without eating. Captive electric eels are known to adjust their feeding habits based on food availability, consuming more when prey is abundant. This creature can unleash up to 860 volts, enough to stun prey and deter threats. This all lead us to the 12 shocking facts about electric eels you won't believe. 1. Electric eels aren't actually eels. Despite their name, electric eels aren't true eels at all. They belong to the knifefish family, making them distant relatives of catfish instead. But why the name? Early explorers who encountered these creatures assumed they were eels because of their long, slender bodies. However, unlike true eels, electric eels have a unique body structure with no dorsal fin, and they use an undulating motion to move through the water. Scientists now classify them under the genus Electrophoros, with several species discovered in recent years. 2. They can generate up to 600 volts. The electric eel is like a living stun gun. Inside its long body are 3 specialized electric organs: the main organ, the hunter's organ, and the sax organ, each packed with thousands of electrocytes. These specialized cells store and release electricity, allowing the eel to unleash powerful shocks. A fully grown electric eel can generate up to 600 volts, 5 times the voltage of a standard wall socket. That's enough to knock down a large predator, stun prey, and even dissuade humans from getting too close. 3. They breathe air. Unlike most fish, electric eels don't rely on gills alone for oxygen. In fact, they need to come up for air every 10 to 15 minutes. This is because they primarily breathe through their mouths. Their habitat, murky, slow-moving waters, has low oxygen levels, so evolution gave them an air-breathing adaptation. They gulp air at the surface, absorbing oxygen through blood-rich tissues in their mouth. It's like having built-in scuba gear. 4. They use electricity to see in the dark. Imagine living in water so muddy that you can't even see your own fins. That's the daily life of an electric eel. But instead of using eyes, these creatures use a weak electrical field to sense their surroundings, a method known as electrolocation. They constantly emit low-voltage pulses, which bounce off objects and prey, allowing them to build a mental map of their environment. Think of it as an underwater radar system, nature's own built-in GPS. 5. They can leap out of the water to attack. If you thought electric eels were only dangerous underwater, think again. When feeling threatened, these creatures can actually propel themselves out of the water and deliver a powerful electric shock to anything above the surface. This behavior was first observed by scientists studying eels in captivity. They found that when faced with an external threat, like a metal rod placed in the water, the eels would leap out and zap it with an even stronger burst of electricity. Imagine sticking your hand too close to the water and suddenly getting an electric surprise. 6. Their shocks get stronger as they age. Baby electric eels start off with a weak charge, but as they grow, their voltage increases dramatically. A juvenile might only produce around 100 volts, just enough to stun small prey. But as they mature, their electrocytes develop to store and release more energy, eventually allowing an adult to generate a full 600-volt shock. It's like upgrading from a tiny battery to a massive power generator over time. 7. They can remember and recognize humans. Here's a mind-blowing fact: electric eels have memory. Studies show that these creatures can recognize individual humans, especially those who regularly interact with them. Scientists have observed eels reacting differently to familiar researchers versus strangers. Some even exhibit curiosity rather than fear when approached by people they know. So, if you ever visit an electric eel more than once, it might actually remember you. 8. They can hunt in groups. Electric eels were long believed to be solitary hunters, but new discoveries prove otherwise. In certain conditions, multiple electric eels have been observed working together to herd small fish into tight clusters before simultaneously shocking them. This cooperative hunting behavior is incredibly rare among fish and shows just how intelligent these creatures really are. 9. Some electric eels are bioluminescent. Here's one of the rarest and strangest facts. Some electric eels have been observed emitting a faint glow. Scientists aren't sure exactly why, but some speculate it could be used to attract prey or as a warning signal to predators. It's still being studied, but a glowing, electrified fish? That's straight out of a sci-fi movie. 10. They can shock themselves. You'd think an animal that generates electricity would be immune to its own power, right? Not exactly. Electric eels have thick skin that usually protects them, but if they're in a confined space or make an awkward movement, they can accidentally zap themselves. It's like getting caught in your own electric storm. 11. They inspired early battery technology. In the 18th and 19th centuries, electric eels played a key role in early battery research. Scientists were fascinated by how these creatures generated electricity, leading to some of the first experiments in bioelectricity. In fact, Alessandro Volta, who invented the first true battery, was directly inspired by the electric eel's anatomy. 12. They can survive for hours out of water. Most fish wouldn't last long out of water, but electric eels are different. Thanks to their ability to breathe air, they can survive for several hours on land. In extreme situations, they can even slither over damp terrain in search of a new water source. That's one fish that refuses to stay in the tank. And there you have it, 12 absolutely shocking facts about electric eels. Which one blew your mind the most? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more amazing wildlife content. See you next time on Life Again Today.